Your father left nothing for you both. From now on, this house belongs to me.
When their father died, the big house became silent like a market after rain. Michael had been a strong man in the town of Idera. He built shops, sold building materials, and helped many people. People used to greet his daughters with respect because they were Michael's girls. The elder was Anna, 25 years old, calm and firm like a tall Iroko tree. The younger was Clara, 22, soft and bright like morning sun. But after the burial, everything changed. Their uncle, Peter, began to move around the house like a man measuring land that was not his. One afternoon, Peter called the two sisters to the sitting room. His voice was cold. He told them that the house, the shops, and all the money belonged to him now because their father did not leave a written will. Anna tried to speak, but Peter's eyes were sharp like broken glass. By sunset, their clothes were outside the gate. The gate that once opened with pride closed against them with dust rising around their feet. Two sisters stood on the road with one small bag and no place to go. The sisters walked until they reached the edge of town where an old mango tree stood near a small stream. They sat there, tired and afraid. Clara cried quietly. She kept saying she would stop school and find work so they could survive. But Anna held her shoulders firmly. Anna's voice did not shake. She told Clara that their father always said education was the only thing nobody could steal. She said, "You must go back to school. I will do anything. I will sell my strength if I have to." Clara looked at her sister as if she was seeing her for the first time. The mango leaves moved gently above them. That day, under the hot afternoon sun, Anna made a promise that would change both their lives. She would carry firewood, fetch water, sweep compounds, anything honest. Clara would return to the university and finish her studies. They hugged each other tightly, not knowing how heavy that promise would become. Anna rented a small mud room in a nearby village called Ero. Every morning before the sun grew strong, she walked into the bush with other women. She cut dry branches, tied them into bundles, and carried them on her head to the roadside. Her hands became rough. Her feet hardened. The villagers began to know her as the quiet girl who walks like three men. Clara resumed school in the city. Anna sold firewood every day and sent money through a bus driver who traveled to the city each week. Sometimes the money was small, but it was clean. Clara would call and say thank you. At first, her voice was full of tears and gratitude. She promised she would never forget. Anna would smile alone in her small room and sleep peacefully, even when her body ached like broken wood. Months turned into years. Clara grew confident in the city. She made new friends who wore bright clothes and spoke polished English. She began to understand big offices, air conditioners, and corporate dreams. When she called Anna, the calls became shorter. She spoke faster, as if time was chasing her. She sometimes complained that the money was not enough for books and projects. Anna worked harder. She added charcoal selling to her firewood business. She reduced her meals to twice a day. She told no one about her pain. She believed sacrifice was the seed of greatness. Whenever she imagined Clara wearing a graduation gown, her heart became light. She never noticed that the distance between them was growing like a river after rain. On a bright afternoon, Clara graduated with honors in business administration. The university hall was full of clapping and camera flashes. Anna could not attend because she had no transport fare. Clara sent pictures later. She wore a neat gown and smiled widely. Anna showed the picture proudly to the women in the village who bought firewood from her. Soon after graduation, Clara got a job at a big farm owned by a wealthy businessman named Mr. Daniel White. Daniel was respected in the city. He noticed Clara's intelligence and beauty. Within a year, Clara moved from a small apartment to a better one. She started wearing fine clothes and speaking with calm confidence. Anna kept selling firewood, believing better days were near. Daniel fell deeply in love with Clara. He admired her quiet strength and her story of growing up alone. Clara told him she had no family. She said her parents died long ago and she had struggled alone. She did not mention Anna. Not once. Daniel's heart softened. He promised to protect her from every hardship. Their wedding was grand and colorful. It was held in a bright hall filled with flowers. Clara looked like royalty. Anna did not know the exact date of the wedding. She only heard later from a former schoolmate of Clara who visited the village. Anna smiled with pride. She believed her sister was simply too busy. She waited patiently for Clara to send for her. Weeks passed. Then months. Anna's calls stopped going through. Clara changed her phone number. The bus driver who used to carry money now said Clara had moved to a better part of the city. Anna felt a strange fear growing inside her chest. She had never asked for anything in return, but she expected love. One afternoon, Anna decided she could not sit and wait anymore. She closed her small firewood stand and traveled to the city with the little savings she had. The city looked different from the village. Anna held Clara's old university address tightly in her hand. At the university gate, Anna asked about Clara. A security man looked at her with surprise. He told her Clara graduated long ago and now worked in a major firm. He even mentioned that Clara married Daniel White, a powerful man in the city. Anna felt her legs weaken. She had imagined hugging her sister in a small hostel room, not hearing about her from strangers. She followed the directions given to her. The address led to a grand house with tall gates and shining cars. Anna stood outside for a long time, her simple wrapper dusty from travel. She asked the guard to tell Clara that her sister was outside. The guard looked doubtful but went in to announce her. Clara stepped outside in elegant clothes, her hair styled beautifully. Daniel stood beside her. For a second, Clara's eyes met Anna's. Recognition flashed across her face like lightning. Anna smiled widely, ready to embrace her. But Clara's expression changed quickly. She turned to Daniel and said calmly, "I do not know this woman." The words struck Anna like a slap. Daniel looked confused. Anna tried to speak, her voice shaking but firm. She reminded Clara of the mango tree, the firewood, the promises. Clara's face hardened. She repeated that Anna was mistaken. The gate closed slowly between them. Dust rose again, just like the day their uncle threw them out. Daniel could not forget Anna's face. Something in her voice sounded true. Clara tried to laugh it off, but her smile did not reach her eyes. Days later, Daniel quietly asked his driver to find out more about the woman who came to the gate. He felt a strange pull in his heart. Meanwhile, Anna refused to leave the city. She found a cheap place to sleep and began asking questions. She was not angry. She was hurt, but her spirit was not broken. She knew the truth has a way of standing up by itself. And somewhere inside Clara's beautiful house, secrets were beginning to shake like dry leaves in strong wind. Daniel White could not remove Anna's voice from his mind. It followed him to his office and sat quietly beside him during meetings. He remembered the way she spoke about the mango tree and the firewood, not like someone begging, but like someone who carried truth in her bones. Clara noticed his silence. She tried to fill the house with laughter and expensive gifts, but doubt is like smoke. It finds its way into every room. One afternoon, Daniel asked Clara again, gently. He told her the woman looked too certain to be lying. Clara's fingers trembled slightly before she folded them together. She repeated her story about being alone in the world. She said some poor villagers sometimes claim connections to rich people. Daniel nodded, but his eyes did not rest. Somewhere deep inside him, something had shifted. Anna did not return to the village. Instead, she found work in the city market selling firewood again. The market women watched her closely. She was quiet but respectful. She never spoke badly about Clara. When they asked why she came to the city, she simply said she was looking for family. One of the traders, an older woman named Grace, took interest in her story. Grace had kind eyes and a sharp mind. She offered Anna a small space beside her store. Anna walked under the hot sun again, her skin darker, her hands rougher, but her spirit calm. She believed that truth does not need to shout. It only needs time. Daniel's driver was a careful man. He followed small leads and asked quiet questions. After some days, he found the university records. Clara's emergency contact during her early school years had been Anna's name. There were even payment receipts signed by Anna for tuition fees during Clara's first 2 years. The driver brought the information to Daniel. Daniel read every line slowly. His heart grew heavy. The dates showed that while Clara was studying comfortably, someone else was working hard somewhere. Daniel leaned back in his chair. He realized that the woman at the gate was not a stranger. She was part of a story Clara had erased. Daniel did not wait long. On a clear afternoon, he placed the documents on the dining table. Clara saw them and froze. The silence between them was thick. Daniel's voice was calm but firm. He asked why she lied. Clara tried to explain. She said she was ashamed of her poor background. She feared losing Daniel if he knew she came from struggle. Daniel stood up slowly. He told her he married her for her heart, not her history. He said poverty is not shameful, but ingratitude is. Clara's eyes filled with tears, but they were not the soft tears of regret. They were tears of fear. She realized the life she built on silence was beginning to crack. Back at the market, Grace listened carefully as Anna shared what happened at the gate. Grace shook her head slowly. She told Anna that sometimes people need to face their own truth publicly before they accept it privately. Grace had connections in the city. She knew people who supplied firewood to large estates, including Daniel's home. Grace suggested something bold. She arranged for Anna's firewood to be delivered to Daniel's house officially through the market association. Anna hesitated at first. She did not want to embarrass her sister. But Grace reminded her that dignity is not embarrassment. Hiding the truth is. On a bright morning, Anna followed the market truck to Daniel's estate. She wore a clean but simple dress. Her face showed no anger. The gate opened as usual. The security guard recognized her but said nothing. Firewood was part of the estate's regular supply for the outdoor kitchen. Clara stepped outside when she heard the commotion. Their eyes met again. This time, Daniel was already standing nearby. Anna greeted them respectfully. She did not accuse. She did not beg. She simply handed over the delivery note with her full name written clearly, Anna Michael, elder sister to Clara Michael. The staff began whispering. Daniel watched carefully as Clara struggled to maintain her calm image. Later that afternoon, he invited Grace and 2 respected elders from the Market Association to his office. He wanted to hear the full story from witnesses. Grace spoke clearly about Anna's years of sacrifice. She described the firewood bundles, the long walks, the bus driver who carried school fees. The elders confirmed it. Clara sat quietly, her perfect world shrinking around her. For the first time, she saw her past standing tall in front of her. While the truth unfolded in the city, Uncle Peter heard rumors about Clara's wealthy marriage. Greed rose in his heart again. He traveled to the city hoping to benefit from her success. He arrived at Daniel's office claiming to be Clara's only surviving family. But Daniel was no longer blind. He asked careful questions. When Anna's name was mentioned, Peter's face changed slightly. His lies began to twist. Daniel realized that the roots of the sister's suffering were deeper than he first imagined. The story was not only about denial. It was about injustice that started years ago. Clara could not carry the weight anymore. One afternoon, under the bright city sun, she walked to the market alone. She found Anna arranging firewood neatly beside Grace's stall. For a moment, Clara could not speak. The noise of the market faded in her ears. She finally whispered Anna's name. Anna looked up slowly. There was no hatred in her eyes, only quiet pain. Clara fell to her knees in the open market. People stopped to watch. She confessed her fear, her shame, her selfishness. But Anna did not rush to lift her up. Some wounds need space before healing begins. Daniel arrived shortly after, having followed Clara. He stood beside Anna and addressed the crowd calmly. He announced that Anna was not just Clara's sister, but a woman of honor. He publicly acknowledged her sacrifices. The market women nodded proudly. The sisters realized that the firewood promise was only the beginning of a bigger battle, one that would test loyalty, justice, and the true meaning of family. Anna looked at Clara, not as a stranger, but as blood. Clara held her sister's hand tightly, afraid to lose her again.